want some, get some, bad enough, take some.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 36 of FANGIN and BANGIN with Gangrel. And today we got Anna Diaz in here. ABK, or not ABK. I can't even get your names right. I'm so tired. ABD, Ana Blanca Diaz. Ana Blanca from the Bronx. She's not really from the Bronx. She's from Miami, Florida, residing out of Hollywood now. How are you, Anna?
I'm all right. I could be from the Bronx.
You could be. Your mom's from New York area there. She's from one of those boroughs. Raised in
not the Bronx.
Brooklyn and then moved to Long Island. Or Queens and into Long Island. I think Brooklyn. She's going to get mad at me now.
It's not Queens. I would remember that.
Man. It's got to be Brooklyn. Certainly in the Bronx. But J-Lo's from the Bronx. J-Lo, right?
Is she?
Jennifer Lopez? What you know about Jennifer Lopez?
Not much.
You were talking about whatever, Padonkadonks or whatever. You said Bianca Belair had one. And so I imagine
I said no such thing, but I know somebody who did. So.
All right, so hello everybody, and I hope you're having a tremendous day wherever it is or whatever you're doing. I'm home. I made it. I survived getting married, so I got some new brass on my finger.
There you go.
I wonder if that's what they're saying about brass in the pocket. They take different, but no, I got it on my finger though. Brass on my finger, not even brass. I don't even know what that is. To be honest,
silver.
No,
I don't know.
I think it's platinum. I'm not sure.
It's
Platinum
it's
is something.
a nice looking ring.
Yeah, no.
I wonder who picked it out.
Yeah, did you or your mom?
Oh, we agreed. We agreed on the ring, so I gave my point of view.
Did you and your mom agree for me to get married too?
Yes, actually,
Right.
because you mentioned it. Yeah.
So I married and went on a honeymoon to California. So it was good. Now all I got is your mom talking to me about moving to California.
No, really?
Yes, really.
I asked. So first time you guys went to California, I asked you that. Like I asked her, "Hey, would you ever move there?" Because she seems to really, really like it, and she told me no, that it's only like good to visit.
That's what I tell her. I tell her.
Well, you liked it for a
No, I like it out there. I could live out there. It's just very expensive, the state taxes and everything else. But there's no humidity. You don't sweat. You know. You don't get swamp ass in 5 minutes off an airplane. You don't. You just don't. The weather is just absolutely gorgeous all the time. It's cool at night and the sun's shining during the day. It hardly ever rains.
Does it get cold there?
Yeah. Oh, it was. We woke up in San Francisco when our flights got canceled. Oh, I don't want to get into all that mess about the flights that travel day, but we'll get into that. But that morning we woke up and in San Francisco it was 37 degrees. Oof. Now, when I went outside, I didn't feel it. It didn't feel cold to me but then we had so our flight, your mom wakes me up like 4:30 in the morning. Get up. I'm like, what? Our flight's not till we don't have to go to the airport till 9 o'clock. She's like, our flight's been canceled. So and she had to be at work on Monday morning. This is Sunday morning in San Francisco, which would be about 8 o'clock Sunday here in the morning. She goes, I had to be at work Monday, blah, blah, blah. So I had to, there was no other flights. Couldn't get through to the American Airlines. Supposedly the weather in Dallas had messed all the flights up. So what ended up having to be done was I bought us flights back from LAX. So we had to jump in the car and then drive 5, almost 6 hours back to Los Angeles from San Francisco. So we did the coast up. We flew into Los Angeles and we drove up the Pacific Coast Highway, which was beautiful. And I think this is why your mom liked it. You can't go wrong when you stop in Ventura Beach, Pismo Beach, stayed at Madonna Inn, and then we got up, and then she really loved San Francisco too. She loves San Francisco, so it's she goes, I want to live. She started talking about wanting to live there and everything, but we're supposed to fly out of San Francisco. What ended up hightailing it all the way back to LAX. Met up with TMD for lunch, and Swayze, Patrick Swayze, not the Swayze you all think, Patrick Garney, Nickelodeon dude, good dude. Had some lunch. And then we had to kill 8 hours at the airport, 8 more hours. Yeah, the flight was at 10 something at night. And then that flight was delayed an hour. And then we get on that plane and then we fly. And it turns out I was sleeping. I've had a bit of an anxiety attack because I messed up with their seats and I ended up, I can't have a wall. I got to be in the window seat, F side. But it's got to have a window in it that my shoulder can fit in so I can sleep to my right. I always lean to my right, just like I feed. Boom, that way. So, it was just a solid wall on that exit row. And I was like, oh, man. So I had a bit of an attack. She gave me a Benadryl. So I wake up, and they're like, we've been diverted to Sarasota because we're running out of fuel. And I'm like, I look over at your mom. She's like on her phone. She's trying to figure stuff out because of work. And I'm like, whatever. Another hour of sleep. So I go right back to sleep. And we land in Sarasota. And she's like, she's on her phone, like trying to like hustle. She's supposed to be at work at like 8 o'clock or something. And it's like 8:30. We're in Sarasota, Florida, not even in Fort Lauderdale. Because we circled Fort Lauderdale for 2 hours, ran out of fuel, and had to go to Sarasota. So we finally get home about 11 o'clock yesterday morning. That's a super long travel day. And then she went straight to work. And then I went, I washed laundry, whatever. And then I went and
straight to the school, right?
Went to the school. Yeah. And what a class it was last night, training. We had,
looked like
because we did the tryouts 2 weeks ago, right before I left, right before the wedding, right? Did tryouts, open tryouts. So like 5 or 6 of those guys signed. So we had about, I'd say 8 very brand new faces to wrestling, to the school and everything else. Mm-hmm. So and there's some fresh blood, some young blood, some new bloods, young bloods, you know. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of the some older faces that had trained before showed up. I mean, I don't know. If you look at the picture, there's probably 30, 35 people.
Class.
Yeah, so that kept me so busy and kept me on my toes. So I didn't feel anything till this morning when your mom's alarm goes off. The alarm goes off at 5. I didn't even know she opened her eyes. She went, no! And I turned her alarm back off. But that war cry of no kept me up. It haunted me, so I couldn't go back to sleep. But I'm feeling it now. I'm jet lagged. But yes, back to the original thing. Yes, she's so serious about moving. She was inquiring about a place to rent.
No.
Oh, yes, she's leaving you behind.
I feel the love. No, that's cool though.
It's
beautiful, beautiful.
She was looking up jobs. She saw one at Disneyland, occupational doctor at Disneyland. Because how cool would that be? I go, well, that's in Anaheim, so it depends upon where you want to live. The house she was looking at, the rent was in Burbank. So.
A house. She said she didn't want a house too.
Well, you know, they're expensive, but this is a cute little house. I know this house. Yeah. I've been to a few parties at this house.
You're familiar with the house.
I'm familiar with this house. It's on California Street. So cute. 3-bedroom, has a little pool in the back. No, tiny 3 bedrooms. It has a little pool, nice little front yard. Beautiful.
That's
beautiful,
super cool
beautiful.
though.
Yeah.
Sending me pictures, and I'm looking at these pictures at work. So it's so beautiful, and I'm just like, okay, back to work.
The only downside is you can go to the beach here and swim. You can't go to the beach there and swim.
Why?
It's cold. The water is cold. The water's like 73 degrees here, like all the time.
Yeah.
But I think that water is like in the 60s. That water's cold. Sea lions live in that water and shit. It's cold. It's cold.
Is it always cold?
It's always cold. I go to the beach in the summer and it could be cold. To me, it is.
That doesn't make sense.
That's why I can never figure out. I watched Baywatch and I couldn't figure out how they were always running in bikinis and stuff like that in one-piece bathing suits. I'm like, it's so cold. But with the sun shining right on you, it's good. But the wind blows on the coast, you know, because, you know, Malibu and the Central Coast and up San Francisco. San Francisco, you could be on one side of the bay and it'd be 110 degrees. Go across the bridge into San Francisco, 20 minutes we're talking. 20 minutes change in distance. And it'd be like 50 degrees. San Francisco, yeah. But that's a great town. But I think she really loves Southern LA. She likes she's a rock and roller deep down inside.
She's a crafty one.
Yeah.
She has many sides to her.
She's a dark horse, much like yourself.
That's where I get it from. That's where I get it from.
I used to think it was your dad, but I honestly think it is your mom.
I have a little bit of my dad in there too. So the two together.
I believe the entertaining side, because he's a musician and this stuff, and getting out in front of crowds and having, you know, you play the drums. What else you play?
Piano a little bit.
Piano and
clarinet, but not really like that was with school. That wasn't much like with my
your
dad.
brother's a musician, and he's like drums, bass. He makes videos, bass, produces.
Writes songs. He pretty much does it all. He doesn't like to sing though. He does not like his voice. So
don't tell your brother this, because I'm sure he doesn't watch this show. But so we're driving in the car, and even as you go up the coast, you don't get a lot of stations. So your mom's music's on, right? Her shuffle's on, right?
I know what song's coming on.
So no. Every time I'd fast forward a song, because I'd be like, I can't listen to this. She goes, that was Andy's. And that was Andy's band. I'm like, but I don't listen to that type of punk, that
Yeah, you listen to like, pretty much everything, but punk it's not really
not that new punk. I listen to the old
genre.
Sex Pistols and the Clash and all that kind of stuff.
Sex Pistols are the shit. They're really good.
Right. So no, I just don't like that whatever it's called now, modern.
It's like pop punk.
Yeah,
like,
somewhere in between. Daisy's Mom's Got It Going On. Stacy's Mom's Got It Going On.
Oh, that's a good song. Come on.
Like,
Stacy's Mom is a good song.
But yeah, she'd be like, "That's Andy's song," and I put it back, and then the Foo Fighters would come on, and then she's like, "I didn't see the Foo Fighters in concert, whatever." You know.
Yeah, she loves the Foo
She
Fighters.
loves the Foo Fighters.
They come on, you can never switch it.
All right, so speaking of Foo Fighters and never switching it, they switched. I went to watch wrestling this morning to catch up when I got home. But I'm not as crafty as I think because the WWE is on Sci-Fi and the DVR is not set for Sci-Fi, so I missed Raw.
What's it set for?
It's on USA, whatever it's switched on,
yeah.
but they're because of the Olympics, they're on Sci-Fi. So I go to watch that and I go, crap. Well, I guess AEW gets a turn today. And then I go to watch AEW, but I forgot they moved to TBS. So the DVR is not set for TBS. So I was like, no wrestling. So then I go, well, wait, there's one in the hole, NXT. So I'm not sure how far behind the NXT was because I don't know if they're on USA too. I don't know, but I hadn't watched a lot of NXT in a while, and I was really happy to see Raquel Gonzalez. She's a beast of a woman. Yeah, I love her. She's right there. She's following up number 2 beyond Bianca there. Like, yeah. Well, when I was at the PC there and she was there, like she just worked so hard. She was a bit heavier when I was there a couple of years ago prior to COVID, or a year and a half, however long it's been. And then, but now she just looks amazing. She's working super hard, super talented. I really hope she gets brung up to the main roster, gets to do something special. And then I see my old buddy Fabian and Walter, who they call Gunther now. Gunther. And so it is weird. And then I seen Kylie Ray. And, so these are all people that I worked with in England when I was working over at All Star Wrestling for Brian Dixon and stuff like that. So to see that they've all, Adrian went there a while back. He was up, down, but he's always been there. But now, what they call the Imperium or something like that, Imperium or something like that. Whatever, they're a faction with Walter, the big guy in the middle, which he was in Germany. I wrestled him in Germany, and so it was really good to see a lot of people that I was part of the beginning of their journeys when they were just starting out in wrestling. And over there in the UK, when you wrestle, it's like your wrestling age doubles, like experience wise. So in the States, somebody will say, "Oh, I've wrestled 5 years." Okay, so you did 20 matches in 5 years, and that's being kind. You did 20 matches in 5 years, 30 matches. Over there, they do 7 to 14 matches a week sometimes. Okay, wow, so boom, that 7 days a week for how many years? It's all year. So these guys all got mileage on them in some way and great experience for the lesser amount of time in the business. A shorter time in the business. For sure. So, but I'm super happy to see that they're all rising to the top and doing something. So that was really cool. So in a way, I was glad that I switched over, but I can't think of the girl's name. She worked Raquel. God, I can't think of it. She came out with a skateboard.
You were telling me about this.
Yeah, I was thinking of the old dynamic dudes thing. Is
that kind of like Riddle with the
scooter? Yeah, but the skateboard would be like the dynamic dudes. You probably don't. They were way before you were even born. You're born in 2000.
Yeah.
Makes you 21. All of a young 21.
Young 21. Yeah.
Young 21.
Feel older, but
that's because you got to hang around me. My grizzled is rubbed off on you and like doubled your age.
Maybe a little bit. Bit. Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
so far.
Well, the Dynamic Dudes was made up of a fella named Shane Douglas, which everybody should know Shane Douglas, ECW, and then the Dean Douglas or whatever. Shane Douglas, tremendous guy, great athlete, out of Pittsburgh, and Johnny Ace.
Yeah.
Which is who?
That's John Laurinaitis.
John Laurinaitis, right. Johnny Ace, yeah. But yeah, so they used to come out to the ring with skateboards too and do this whole Dynamic Dudes thing. And then, there's Chris at CCW. And speaking of CCW, if this comes out in time, I'll be in Port St. Lucie on the 12th, like taking on my former student that I helped train, Jacob Fatu, which I'm excited about and scared about.
Why scared?
Why scared? Because my back.
Yeah, but it's been better.
It's been this trip was killing. It's like going backwards again. It feels like the stem cell. I got it. They were telling me I had to get back in there in March or spring to get another dose of it.
Round.
You know, because one just doesn't work. You know, you gotta go get a few.
You might be pushing it a little though. You haven't really slowed down. You're not one to slow down much.
Yeah. Russ never sleeps. You know, you got to keep moving and keep creeping, you know, before you get got, you know. So, but, so I'm a little nervous about it, but I'm super excited about it. So, super excited to see him. But then I got to get in the ring. He's a machine. Probably one of the best Samoans I ever trained. You know?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, like, that's in Port St. Lucie at the Mid-Event Center. Mid-Florida Event Center. That's what it is.
When was the last time you worked with him?
Jacob? Would have been at the Dania Beach Casino. Would have been a tag match. And it was me and somebody. I don't even remember.
With
me and MVP.
Yeah, I remember
and
that
MVP
one.
versus Jacob and Lance. The Samoans Strike Force. Samoan Strike Force, SSF.
They're both machines.
Yeah, tremendous. Lance is coming off that shoulder injury, so he's still out. He had a surgery. But Jacob's still running and gunning. He's out there doing what he's doing. So, yeah. So, looking forward to that. And what else we got? Back to things going on there. So, do you watch any wrestling? Or don't see? You're going to say no.
No, I haven't, but I did a little research before.
Did you?
A little bit, not much, but
more than I did.
So saw some news about like Melina wanting a match with Sasha Banks and something about Lita's return.
Wait, hold on. Melina's in WWE now?
It might be just like a rumor that
she wants a match. Okay.
That she wanted
what do you
a
think
match
of that?
with Sasha. I don't. She.
Why Sasha? Because
I don't know. I guess she's the hot thing now. Her and Becky are pretty up there.
Man, Bianca Belair, like, come on, Bianca. Then Raquel coming up from NXT.
I'm not arguing, but I mean that's who's really like showcased the most. Maybe. It seems.
Yeah, I get it. Sasha Snoop Dogg's cousin or something, and whatnot, man. Maybe she just wants to rub that way, you know, like kind of I wrestle Snoop's cousin or something. I don't know. Get me in the rap video.
But Melina lasted. She didn't really last long in the Royal Rumble, so it's hard to say whether.
That's right. She was in the Rumble, huh? And I missed it, huh?
Yeah, you missed her.
Was she early in the
I think she was one of your picks.
Yeah, but I was doing that podcast.
Yeah, but she was early-ish, but she didn't do much, so it's hard to say whether like she can still hang a whole match. But
no, these they're all machines now. These kids all have these motors that don't stop. As kids, I never thought I'd call people kids, but I guess as I creep up on 53 next week.
You're asking?
Yeah. No, my birthday. When is it?
The 16th?
Yeah, next week. Yeah, Wednesday. Next Wednesday. Woo!
Big 5'3".
Yeah, I still don't. I guess I qualify for AARP now.
Haven't you already? No.
No, your mom won't let me do it because she said we're not getting. I'm like, come on.
Oh, she's
so. I want the senior discount.
Against that. Yeah. She hates that. Yeah. I can understand why a little bit, but if it's a discount's a discount. That's the way
I think if you live that many years, you earned that discount. Like if you survived to put up with all this crap in the world, you deserve a discount. Even if it is the 222 at IHOP. Like to see.
She got the senior special. That's the email. She got that email on the wedding day.
Yeah,
the 2222 discount at IHOP. But also Lita 2's coming back. Or wants to come back, something like that.
No, I saw she was on Raw because I saw a clip. I seen her give a twist of fate to Becky and then a moonsault, which looked pretty crisp.
Really?
And her gear, I don't think she was wearing gear or clothes, but she looked a lot better than what she was wearing.
She wasn't wearing gear?
No, I don't know. It just looked like Lita, like the old Lita, like cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like Lita looked like.
It's a match, an elimination chamber for the women's championship.
Oh, she's got a match. Look at that old Lita.
With who? Becky.
Mm-hmm. She's a South Florida girl. You know that, right? Deerfield Beach, right where I was raised.
There you go.
Yeah. No Lita. Yeah.
What?
Same. She's a little bit younger than me, but yeah, same school, same circle, all that. Yeah.
What do you think the outcome of that match is gonna be?
Well, what do I think the outcome will be? I don't know. I don't see Becky losing, but But I don't know. Depending upon how good Lita looked. I only got a glimpse of the moonsault and the twist of fate.
True. Yeah.
How old is Lita now, Raymond? You know? She's got to be 40. I'm 53.
Like
Lita's got to be about 43 or something like that.
Late 40s, maybe?
Early 40s, I think.
Early 40s?
I'm guessing. I'm not sure. Well,
I'm
I
not
don't
trying
know.
to
Maybe
age
she's
her or
older, but-
anything.
No. I mean, she looks good, so.
Yeah.
I mean, she was living down in, like, Ecuador or somewhere for a while, or South America.
Really?
She's 46.
Oh, 46.
46,
Wow.
mid-40s.
Becky, then I don't see Becky, yeah. Well, you know, WWE, I mean, well, she's already an established star, Lita, a big star, established star. But, you know, the neck injuries, this and that. I'm sure it's just Becky in some kind of way. Some kind of thing. But
I think Lita will hold up for a little bit, though.
oh, no, she will.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, she'll be fine.
She's returning, I think.
Went to a party last night. I didn't get laid, but I got in the fight. Lita Ford? Never mind.
No. I know the song.
Yeah.
I know the song.
Lita Ford. Yeah. Lita Ford still looks really good, too.
You ever thought of becoming a rock star?
Yeah, it didn't work out.
No? Okay.
Turns out the only music I could do is probably metal. Yeah! Kick your mom, stab her knife, eat her shoes, and throw it away. I don't know.
Hip hop.
Maybe. Maybe some rap.
Yeah, I
can see some rap.
All the long road trips you have taken with me, and you've heard me sing. You believe that I could sing, and you're like, be honest now.
I believe you can rap and rap and death metal maybe, but sing like Adele or Katy Perry sing, no.
Well, no, not 90% of the world or 98% of the world can't sing like Katy Perry or Adele. No,
oh, you get what I'm getting.
I get what
at.
you're saying.
Or maybe that pop punk genre that you don't like. I think you can hold that up. They're not necessarily good. They just have a sound to them.
Yeah, it's like the American Pie soundtrack. Well, a little bit, not as good as the American Pie soundtrack, because that's like Blink 182 and all that.
I love that soundtrack.
Yeah.
So Lita returning. I think Goldberg's returning too.
No, is he?
Yeah, he came back. SmackDown versus Roman.
No. Oh, you know what? I do have SmackDown on the DVR, but and I didn't watch it, so I just realized I got SmackDown on DVR. I just didn't scroll down
to it. Yeah.
Scroll down far enough. Yeah.
You got one recording.
Well, Sparkles made me not want to watch the Blue brand. He goes, "That's my brand." SmackDown made me not want to watch wrestling. Anything he talked about made me not want to watch wrestling anymore. And I don't care if people thought I was being a jerk to him or not.
He likes that brand more.
It's Gordon. Yeah, when he was here, he said it in front of you.
You think I'm gonna?
Do I think you care what Sparkles says? Is that what you just said?
You're putting words in my mouth. I was gonna say, you think I remember what I heard, and no, my memory is. It's selective, and it's selective, and I only hear certain things.
I do got a question for you.
I have an answer.
Oh, I don't know. I hope you do. Whether you have an answer or an opinion back. WWE, what is your thoughts of their age limiting? Like saying they don't want anybody over 30, or they only want former. Now, this is you at 21. Mm-hmm. You're 21, young girl. Now, I know you have your ups and downs in wrestling. You've been doing it since you're 14 or 15.
Just turned 15.
Just turned 15, right? So, training, and you went through many different phases of training. You went through training under Pablo a little bit. Mm-hmm. I was around, sort of, here and there. Then you went through how I trained, and you got to both sides of me. You got the hardcore side Miro guy, which was good to see Miro at the wedding. Mm-hmm. That was good to see him. Yeah, such a humble guy still.
He's a cool dude. Yeah.
Everybody's like, he came in there and he taught a class at CCW, and they go, he's so great. This and I go, because he was trained right. He wasn't trained, but he's a good dude. He's like him and Metal, like the Bulgarians. Maybe maybe Bulgarians are just good guys in general or something. I don't know. Maybe we're missing something. We should all move to Bulgaria, not California.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd move there, but
that's the reason they moved here, huh?
Exactly.
Well, changes in latitudes, changes in attitudes. There you go. You're not even a parrot head, but Jimmy Buffett. Never mind, parrot head, Jimmy Buffett. But
age limiting.
Our age. So let's go back to that. So, what do you think of that? Because I'm not. Recently, I know a few people that have just probably put the work in. Mm-hmm. This and that. Caught notice. But then when their age is noticed, because they don't maybe certainly look their age, they get the door slammed on them. Do you think that's fair? If let's say you're 30 years old, like what are they limited at? Like 28 or something? It's
Probably
something.
somewhere around there. Yeah.
All right. So, and you've worked hard. It took you all that time to get that good, build up your reputation, put your hard work in, travel the roads up and down, do every shitty show, figure out who you are, and work your way to where you are. Put your work in, and they notice you, they reach out to you, blah, blah, blah. But then when they find out your age, they go, you're too old. What do you think of that? Yeah, we only want former, if you're
former
not
athletes.
you have to be like a former Olympian or former something or something if you're going to be 30 or more, you know. Like,
no.
So do you think that's really fair?
That's crazy. I mean, to a certain extent, I understand a certain age. You're like, I don't know if it's worth keeping you for X amount of years.
30. Hold on.
But 30, that's not old.
So you take a 21-year-old that's immature, and then you spend. Though I guess they're only giving like 3-month contracts now, or 6-month contracts. Is that what it is? 6-month contract? I don't know. They're giving short contracts, but before they were giving like 3 and 4 months and investing all this time, and then letting somebody go at 28, and then they go out there and then they're working. But somebody just put all that time in and came out, busted their ass. You're your prime at 33, you know.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
So if you did all that and you're ahead of the game and you don't have to train them, why would they slam a door on somebody? Like it's just.
I mean, they're mature. They're obviously experienced. They put the work in. I don't see any reason they wouldn't.
The only thing I could figure is they believe. Well, besides the injury thing, but not at 30. Like if they were like 35, okay, you lost 5 years.
Maybe I feel like 37 and up. I think I can understand, maybe.
I think 35 is a good cutoff for like somebody who hasn't worked for the company. But 30 I think is ridiculous. But I think it's that maybe they worry too that they've gotten too much experience out there in the indies and they have too much of their own opinion at that point. And they're coming in where everybody else is brainwashed at 20, 21. It's not wrestled. Oh, they don't know anything about wrestling. You walked in the door. And all you know is what WWE tells you about wrestling. That's all you know.
I understand it, but I don't because...
Well, I don't think it's fair at all.
Because if you're already experienced, like you've traveled the indies, you're trained, that's less work that WWE has to do.
Right, but you have more of an opinion than their opinion, so...
Well, who says that, like...
Hey, listen, you're the same one. I look, and you the other day, you go, I said something about you didn't like everybody's outfits in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Okay? So when I watched NXT, I noticed a lot of the women's outfits were the same. And I also look at the new NXT brand. It looks like Skittles thrown up all over a canvas too.
Oh my God. That's
so I'm thinking they're all doing, it's putting their brain. I don't want to say brainwash, but it's setting the play like this. Maybe
This is it. This is what you're wearing. This is how everything is. Yeah.
The NXT brand looks like Skittles. Let's dress like Skittles. Like that's what they think is cool, and that's what they want. And they're trying to like impress the higher powers.
I mean, if that's what they want, but who said that?
All right. So that's these young girls, right? So
yeah.
These young girls. Well, Lita's was like all over the place, but Lita was probably just.
Whatever,
but because she's always been different.
But if you're employed by them, I don't see why you would, because it's your job. You're not gonna argue. I wouldn't argue like unless they want me to wear something like super like ridiculous, like super ridiculous, like a tutu or something.
Like so, I don't even know if WWE can survive the cancel culture because they're PG. If they weren't PG anymore, I don't think they would survive it. Like I think they would be taking 1-2s in the eye. They're PG for a reason. But networks is just a good excuse why, but like they wouldn't survive. They would never get away with that Kane sleeping with a corpse in a coffin thing. All these Miss Kitty and wrestling with her titties out and pudding
wasn't there like an Edge and Lita like?
Well, yeah, it's funny enough that there's an Edge and Lita, but they just pushed Edge and Beth on a thing, and then Lita comes back. It's really weird. That's little things. That could be people poking at things there, but who knows? Because when you're so high up in the Raymond believes in these Illuminati, so they're up there like the Illuminati's of things. They have a weird sense of humor because they can do things that just makes them laugh in the boardroom, and everybody else is like, "Oh, that's kind of weird," but they don't realize they're up there just laughing because it was their own little joke because they have so much power, but or they think they have power. Well, they do because everybody wants to work there. So.
Of course, yeah, but I mean. even like back to the age thing, even if like the door for WWE or wherever does get shut on you, there's always other routes to go.
No, I just had this conversation with somebody and I'm like, you already built your brand, keep pushing, and there's so much more. And it's just like I tell you, it's not the end of the world. This is a new era. This, like, you're sitting here doing a podcast. I mean, I know we're the tail end of everything doing a podcast. Like, it's been, people have already hit this boat. It'll be something new in a week or now, something from now that'll be like hot and running. But you have abilities and capabilities of building your own brand and doing your own thing and building your own self-value and marketing yourself out there to do what you love at your own will and your own choosing, your own, without selling your soul to the devil or
creativity
or laying on an altar for the Illuminatis or something, whatever. You're not sacrificing your self pride and your soul. You just do your thing. So sure, you got to be careful not to be caught up as a lot of people get caught up like which side of the curtain they're sitting on. Are you in the locker room or are you sitting in the seats watching the show? A fan, or you're a wrestler. So you're a wrestler in business, or you a fan that's wrestling, which we're all fans of wrestling. I was a fan. I mean, so I'm not saying that, but you have to observe it like a business and approach it differently than so you got to choose the side of the curtain you're sitting on. Yeah. And unfortunately, with this younger generation, I don't think they know what side of the curtain they're sitting on.
They don't.
My generation, they were sitting on the money side. Yeah, well, tell me about it. Mm-hmm. So how much you think I'm going to make for WrestleMania? Yeah, that works. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to put a thong on and give you a stink face for sure. Yeah. No, I mean, it comes down to business. Like, hey, I'm going to feed my family, this and this and that. This other generation is like, it's not my generation, so I have a hard time grasping it. So I'm going to say I don't comprehend everything that's going on.
I think they've...
It's your generation. Why don't you help enlighten me? You are 21 years old, young in this world. Why don't you help me? And I know that you've had a lot of my influence on you. So take my tainted, bitter, saltiness, over the hill, bullshit, old school, walked 5 miles through glass, barefoot, and snow to get to school attitude of mine. And tell me what you think.
That'll hurt.
Yeah, right. Well, I had shoes. They were Bobos and fish heads, though. I didn't have fancy shoes. I don't know if you know what that is. Do you know what a Bobo is or a fish head?
No.
Well, back then they had stores called Zayres, and Kmart had them, but they were like generic shoes. They kind of looked like these Nikes. Okay. Probably what Nike started out as before they put a swoosh on them and designed them to be like. But they would be this plain generic shoes with a point, right? That would be fish heads. They looked like a little fish head. Yeah.
Like a point, like.
A point with a little piece of plastic that went around like a little arrow. So they were fish heads. And then Bobos were the round ones, kind of like... Bobos would have been like a Converse, a cheap Converse.
Okay.
That weren't Converse, though. And they hurt your feet really bad. Those were Bobos. They were like...
So I don't want a pair of those.
You don't want Bobos? I don't even know Bobos or fish heads still exist. Wait, somebody had one on the other day and they tried to tell me it's an after branch. It's something, but...
I'm so going to look those up after this.
Bobos or fish heads. Raymond, do you know what Bobos or fish heads are? Okay. It might be a hood thing. I don't know. It might... Bobos, yeah.
I can't say I understand this generation. Yeah, going back to that.
But to be fair, my mom gave us $50 for school clothes, right? That's why I started working so young. They go, here's your 50. It might have went up to 100 after a while, but it was 50 each. And we could go to Kmart or Zayres.
I know Kmart.
Okay, they were back around Zayres, or it was called Richway before they became Targets. Richway. But that 50 wouldn't go very far, so we chose to get dropped off at the Salvation Army, and because that 50 go a long ways. Mm-hmm. So, and you could pick up a used pair of Nikes for like $3 or $4 if you did it right, and you could go to school and act like they were new, but they weren't. You'd have to go out and spend another like $1 or something back then on shoe polish and get them whitened back up, get them unscuffed. But yeah, that
sounds good to me.
But this is my generation where we had to figure it out. So I went out and I figured out how to make money. I was cutting lawns, doing this. I was roofing. Spent my summers cropping tobacco, baling hay, so I could get my own clothes to do this and that. Where I believe this generation, and nothing against some of the generation that's listening, is totally different. They think like, nah, you owe this to me. I'm not like this. I don't know how many kids are sitting at home on their mom's couch now. And I don't want to hear this shit. It's too expensive to start a life. But you can start a life any way you want to start a life. You have.
I'm trying.
You're trying, right? But the point
if you choose to,
because you got my old school rubbing off on you.
Little bit, but I mean, I don't think that mentality really should have changed from your generation to mine. Because if you want to do something, like, you do it, you make it happen.
Right,
you don't you don't owe me anything.
Blame the parents, then. Maybe it's us parents.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the parents. Just like I blame people that run wrestling schools. They're not teaching them the right way. What you were talking about, how respectful Miro is, and he comes back and he gives to everybody. He takes the time. He took the time. I heard he was even nice to Noah. When Noah would say something, he would say something ribby back to Noah and he'd go, it's okay, and he'd be nice to Noah. No,
and Noah's a good kid, though. He's such a good kid.
Mm-hmm. No, he is.
He tested.
What was my original question? Where are we at? How did I get so far away? Generation in wrestling?
Generation in wrestling.
I got ADD. I'm all over the place, especially when I'm tired. So.
We can't rewind this either. So,
you could rewind.
It was like behind the curtain, right? Who's behind?
Okay, yes. So what side of the curtain you sitting on? So like, my generation's like business, like, hey, we got to feed our families, this and that. Where this generation, I see is like, I would have got to win or lost, or I got to get my shit in.
No.
So I mean, help me understand this generation.
I just feel like you have to understand. Like, I think people forget that it's a job too. Like, they do it because they love it so much, but I feel like they forget that this is what you want to pay your bills with. So you have to treat it like a business too.
Right. And I'm knocking the people out there wrestling right now. How many of these people wrestling on the shows that you've been on, and I've been on, you still think are sleeping on their mom's couch or their mom's house? You know a lot of them.
Yeah.
That's why they're able to not look at it as a fucking business, because they're sitting at home. They're like, they're at home. They don't got to, they're like, I'm going to go work at the video. Well, there's no video stores anymore. I'm going to go wherever it is. The weed shop or whatever, the dispensary. And
yeah, there you go. That's a new thing too.
Like, so they don't care. Like, because like,
but if
they don't have a mortgage relying on paying these bills until they make it in WWE, some of them, or AEW, and they get these contracts, and then they get houses, but then they have a hard time keeping them because they don't really know anything about business.
But if you want to get there, like, to where
I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not.
Yeah, no, of course.
I just don't understand it.
But if you want to get to somewhere where, like, you're in WWE or you're making a living off of wrestling, like you say you want to, then you have to understand both sides of it. Okay. If you don't, then you're not gonna last.
All right. So since I have you here,
okay.
I'm going to ask you something else.
Okay, I have an answer, I think.
Why have you slowed down your wrestling and stopped wrestling?
Put him on the spot. It just got really quiet.
No, that's fine.
I don't know. It's like
Do you lose your heart?
No. Yeah. It's like a sigh. Like, I don't know. It's partly. It's
because you don't understand your own generation?
A little bit. Yeah, maybe a little bit. It's just I'm like very tired of like it not mattering whether you're like actually talented or not. I guess it's partly that and partly like
so then that falls into that WWE, that age that you're a certain athlete.
That age thing. I guess I partly understand the business, but it's very frustrating at times. So it's just like, why do I want to be a part of it, and why am I trying? It's one of those. Well, for me, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like I say, I sound like a broken record. I go, it's step by step, breath by breath, minute by minute, and you get approach every weekend and every show, and as you travel wrestling, you can't get caught up. Like, that's the which side of the curtain you're on, you know what I mean? You look at it as a business, and you can still brand yourself and march forward and still do wonderful things in wrestling and be a part of it now, where that opportunity wasn't there when I was there. It was either you were in a territory working or in Japan, or then it became down, you're either in, then later, it became like you're either in WWF or WCW, and possibly like ECW, but who knows who really ever got paid there? I'm not sure. So, some people did, and some people got out okay. Like Dreamer, I think he had the T-shirt deal and stuff like that, possibly. So, like some people came out all right on that, but that was like the three, and then you had All Japan and New Japan. But now there's so many other avenues, like. and then so much other things. So
I don't know. Sometimes it feels like you're just kind of like stuck in one spot, doing the same thing over and over again, and you're just not moving anywhere.
So do you need a boost? Do you need me to push you out of that spot?
I need a big shove.
You need me to put my foot right in your ass?
Right in, yeah. It might work a little bit, yeah. Just a big shove forward.
Yeah.
I just hope I don't fall on my face.
Or is it the fact that you're actually working a regular job now, living on a mom's bedroom and realizing how hard life is to do two things at one time?
That too, yeah. No, it's
tiring.
Yeah, it's like it's hard to get to the gym anymore. Like that's the last thing I want to do after work.
I was gonna take a job that I had to clock in and clock out for 7 to 4, and then I started thinking, I don't even have time now. Yeah. What do I do when I add another 40, 50 hour week in there on something? Like I'm already putting in 60 hours a week in wrestling and traveling, if not more, on weekends with other things.
It's hard to keep the schedule. Yeah.
So, my hat's off to anybody that's clocking in and out of 9 to 5 or 7 to 4 or whatever it is, 8 to 4, and still out there chasing their dreams and stuff like that. It's not an easy road. It's not an easy task.
Absolutely not.
But every rose has a thorn, right?
Yeah.
You know, nobody promised you a rose garden. How many songs you want me to cut?
We're going to do a tally one day. When we do this podcast, we're going to do a tally.
I never promised you a rose garden along with sunshine. It's a little bit before the year 2000.
Okay. A lot of it.
All right. So I'm here to officially give you a boost in the ass. Okay? I'm going to kick you in your ass and get you motivated because I miss you. Because you're like my compadre. You're not even coming to class with me. My mano derecha. So I miss you around the rest of school, and if I have to go over there and tell them to fire you at your job, I'm going to tell them to fire you.
Well, don't do that. I kind of need it. I kind of need it.
Oh, your homeboy, your man should be taking care of you. You should step up to the plate and swing a home run.
He does. Just I don't want to rely on anyone. How
many times does he ask for you cash? Does he ask you for cash? How many times does he ask you for cash? No, I'm gonna put you on the spot right now. How many times he goes, oh, I don't have no cash.
He is terrible at that. He never carries cash. He always has his money on his card, on his credit card.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who doesn't keep cash with them.
He doesn't keep cash.
He never keeps cash.
You don't think that's an angle?
That could be. I could be getting worked, yeah.
Well, or he just don't have no money. Hey, what does he do with all his money? Speaking of not having money anymore or doing any things or getting a foot in the ass. What is with Shane McMahon? Shane McMahon had a talent contract and he got fired. So, they released him from his talent contract.
They kind of said like, see ya, we don't want your ideas, right?
I don't know that. Is that what happened?
I'm pretty sure. There were rumors that like...
That he was clashing
with... Well, he was clashing with somebody that like, I guess he was running around like Big Shot, apparently.
Are you sure about it? Like, you can't trust Raymond. If Raymond gave you information, you cannot trust Raymond's information. Because Raymond gives you partial information. And then Raymond puts some stuff on here. It's got me heat. Let me tell you about the heat I've gotten. Because he doesn't think I read these YouTube things. So he titles something, The Decline of AEW. You know how many people are heating on me? Oh, you decline. What's the matter with you? You've only been around 3 years. How can they be declining? How can you? I don't think they even listened to the podcast because he clickbaited something and titled it. And these people probably didn't even listen to the subject. And then they got something to say.
That's how you get the views, though. That's how you get. That's how you get the views. He's a worker.
Yeah. Well, I could tell you, I never click on things because I go, "This is bullshit." Because I've done it a couple times.
Well, you can
vacation photos gone awry, and they have a hot chick on there. I got to go through 80 cover photos, and I never see this girl that they had the first picture on. I'm like, fuck this. I'm not watching it no more. So I don't clickbait no more. So I won't watch it now. They said the decline. Now I'm not gonna listen.
Well, you can like read through the lines, like.
All right. So what are we reading through the lines with Shane McMahon here? So,
that's why it's called the rumor. Everybody, there was a rumor that he was clashing ideas with somebody.
Okay. So, but how do you get released? How do you have a talent contract when you own part of the company?
I guess like he still owns part of the company, but he's not gonna work.
His talent. All right. He was a producer backstage, I guess. Yeah. And, so I don't know. According to Raymond, he was clashing with Jamie Noble, different things. But
have you had any experiences with Shane McMahon, like backstage or anything? Any relationship at all, or?
No, he would just come up and have talks with me. Like I would always hide my injuries, right? So I just started. It was a Gangrel thing coming out, the puffy shirt, a feud with Edge and whatnot. And I think I did one of my first pay-per-views. It was in Ontario, Canada. It was against D'Lo Brown. And we did a whole match. And then I take a clothesline. Now I don't take clotheslines out over the top rope backwards anymore because of this situation here. So I took D'Lo, clotheslined me over the top rope towards the end of the match. When I went over, my arm somehow stuck in the two ropes, like, and then released, right? So I went over, but my arm got hung in there, and I felt something. I felt my shoulder go out, but I felt a pop in my chest.
Like a tear?
Yes, exactly is what it was. So I feel that. I go out, so I can't lift my arm because my shoulder's out. So I finish that match and then do an angle with Mark Henry at the end where Mark Henry goes to do something. I think I spray the blood on him. And I get through all this. This is in Ontario, Canada. And I drive, I get to the back, and they had this French dude named Francois there, and he goes, "Oh baby, it's your shoulder," like, and he says, "Take a breath," and pow, Mark Henry was there, and I swear to you, and this Mark Henry, this like turned a ghostly white when it popped, like, because it just sounded like 2x4 breaking when he popped my shoulder, and he goes, "You're good now, baby, you don't go on." I go, "No," I said, it's my chest. I feel like a band. I feel like a knot up over here. And he goes, it's just the swelling from the shoulder. It's the swelling. You'll be fine. And I said, okay.
Insane.
He says, I'm going to be fine. I'm fine. But it ain't my shoulder that's hurting. It's in my chest. Over here it's hurting. So, in my chest, my pec. So, couple hour drive into Detroit. And I was riding with Luna at the time. I said, I can't lift this arm. I said, it's not my shoulder. It's in my chest, but it hurts. So I get out of the hotel, and I get my shirt off, and I'm black to my wrist and down my side because I tore my pec. So there's blood drained. So it was a pec tear. And so I just started. So back then, about like spots and stuff like that, you kind of hid injuries. So I had this white shirt. So I go, I'm not telling anybody. Yeah. So I saw a doctor at the building when I got to Detroit, and he wrote me a prescription for Vicodin, which I had never taken pain pills before. So this is like 98. So I take these things, and I'm like, woo, woo, Superman, yeah. So I go out there, and I just suck it up. I wrestled Val Venus, I think, that night or something. I just did a live TV with Val Venus, and I just changed up. I started punching left and doing other things left, and switched up my style a little bit, and I kept working. So I worked right through that whole pec thing. And then, so I worked through that. Didn't tell nobody, but they knew. And then later I bruised a lung. I was coughing up blood, and then I had a bruised lung. So
how do you bruise a lung?
I don't know, but it's legit. You know, if you listen to some of the commentary back, they were like, Gangrel just had a bruised lung last week. Like, but it was true. And I was spewing up blood. And I remember Shane came to me and he goes, Dave, bro, this ain't the old school anymore. You gotta tell people when you're hurt. I'm like, yeah, bullshit. Like, I'm thinking in my head, bullshit. Oh, it's the old school. We all know that you tore that pec, and now you work on these bruised lungs. You're beat up. And Cactus Jack we'd be at a training room, and Cactus would walk in. He goes, David, you're the most injured pro wrestler I know. But I would never take time off. It's just because one injury will lead to another injury because you're protecting injuries, you're protecting stuff. So you keep changing the style. So like I was beating my body up, but I never told anybody. I didn't cry about it. It was my body, my choice, And Shane was just like, hey man, you got to be like, tell people you're hurt, this and this and that. So, I listened to him, and he seemed sincere about it, and I believed he was, and he's cool. And then Then I broke my neck, and I wrestled for a week on the road with a broken neck. Like, I wrestled for a week. I didn't tell. The only person I would say I was working Midian, Dennis Knight every day. Tex Lassinger, you know who he is, Midian? Yeah, Midian. So I'd say, hey man, give me a hip toss right out the beginning of the match. If I don't get up, pin me. He goes, why? I go, because there's something really wrong with my neck. It's really bad. He goes, man, I've seen you wrestle with torn pecs and diarrhea and pooping yourself and puking and this and that. And you work. He says, I don't know, man. But I would finish those matches, and then eventually, like, I was sitting in my hotel room, and I think I've told this story on here before. I was traveling with Jericho that particular day, I usually travel Eddie Guerrero and Benoit, but they had split the teams up, so I had me on a loop with Jericho. And I called Eddie and I said, Eddie, my nose is bleeding. I can't swallow. He goes, what? Eddie's like, what drugs are you taking? I go, I'm not taking any drugs. I can't even swallow. I remember Eddie told me to sleep in my bed sitting up. So I slept in my bed sitting up. I woke up, there's blood all up, in front of me in the morning. And then I got to that TV and, you got to go to the doctor right away. So, I broke my neck. So I had a broken neck. Mm-hmm. Well, so there was I had to tell him that. I couldn't hide that. But what did they do the minute I was better? Let me go. So, like,
they let you go?
Yeah, yes. Once I was, they paid me with the broken neck was out and then let me go. But they hired me back twice since that. But the point is like, there's no old school body. You get hurt, they let you go. There's so many other people. How many people are you thinking are trying to take your spot?
Oh.
How many wrestlers out there are waiting or trying to come up? How many are in NXT?
Hundreds.
How many that are being paid on the main roster that are not in NXT? Just waiting. They're just out there waiting. There's more spots in the NFL. I believe people have a better chance of making an NFL football team because there's more spots. How many teams are there? Like 12? I don't know. 32 or something like that.
A lot of teams.
A lot of spots. A lot of teams. Wrestling, there's one company. And now there's two with so many spots. And then you can mess around in AAA and do TNA or whatever, basically. You can compare it to the majors and the minors. However you want to look at it. I mean, you're grateful to be at any spot you got on whatever level it is, whether it's TNA or Ring of Honor, which doesn't exist anymore after this month. MLW, which probably won't exist more unless they win their lawsuit with WWE and they buy them off. So I don't know, so you don't want to say that you don't get hurt, so you feel like you got to push through it. But that was my generation. Now I don't know about this generation. They probably got like a hangnail in or out because their contracts are so different now. Oh, you canceled me because I was hurt. Yeah, we couldn't pull that shit off. We couldn't go, I was hurt and you fired me. They'd be like, yeah, who cares? Now you'd be like, oh, you discriminated against me. And I was hurt. You let me go, it's just like whatever.
It's the same. It's more or less the same, though, because there's still so many spots.
Yeah, but they won't. Oh, they'll keep paying you. Like you're going to get paid.
Now? Yeah,
because they're scared of you. This cancel generation and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they're scared. There's a whole new generation.
It's
kind of like I don't know, Terminators, the rise of the this whole craziness. I
haven't seen the Terminator.
All right, enough of that. You know what? It's time to go. What's in the box? You got to get the box.
I do. Okay.
The box is right there.
I don't have to say it though, right?
I say that. That's okay. That's me. That says that. I say, what's in the box? Did you see 7 yet?
No.
You and Raymond are Raymond's so happy somebody else hasn't seen 7 yet because
is that what it's from?
Yeah, we'll watch it. I was going to get you to watch it the other day, but we ended up watching some cheesy movie.
We always end up like a cheesy Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah.
Did we talked about that last time, I think.
Yeah,
the Wedding Singer.
Oh yeah, we watched The Wedding Singer. Yeah. Which did you like, The Wedding Singer?
I liked it. Yeah. I told you though, I liked 50 First Dates more. So.
Okay. I just watched another Adam Sandler movie in the airport when I was waiting on that long ass delay.
Which one?
It was like I take it a serious thing, but it was still done in a comedy way. The dude, Here Comes the Boom guy, King of Queens dude. I don't know, but they did it about never mind. Sean Payton and getting let go from the NFL with the Saints. Never mind, but I ain't gonna go into it because you won't know what I'm talking about. So what's in the box?
Okay, back to the box.
Back to the box. Back to the box.
Okay.
Oh, wow! He doubled it up. What is it? Is that one big ass question?
Yeah, it's a big paper.
Right.
That's what it was. Your handwriting is something we need to talk about after this. But
is it worse than mine?
No. Yeah, no, it's a little more legible. So, hey Gangrel, since you're a fellow movie buff, I don't know what a buff is. Movie buff.
Not me. My belly protrudes over my lap.
What do you think of Hulk Hogan's movies?
Like what, Mr. Nanny or something like that, and
Mr. Nanny.
Beverly, what else? The Ninja one. What movies?
And if you have a favorite, that's from Frank Bungle.
Oh, Bungs.
I didn't even know Hulk Hogan.
I'm trying to remember them. I watched some of them, but I'm trying to remember. I know like there's like Mr. Nanny where he ran around, kind of like The Rock did his Tooth Fairy with like a little outfit. Mr. Nanny. He was the nanny, like a little kid. They had him dressed in a ballerina thing. But then he had a series, Thunder in Paradise or something like that too.
It's a pretty cool name.
What's that?
It's a cool Thunder in Paradise.
Thunder in Paradise. You think that should be
a move? Yes.
Somebody's gonna steal it now. Like Blue Thunder, but it's a Thunder in Paradise.
Blue Thunder? No, Sami Zayn already does that.
Yeah, well, all right. Thunder in Paradise. So, like, you're going to be like a Florida wrestler or Hawaiian wrestler? What's Paradise? What's going to be?
I have to change.
Or is your name going to be like the girl wrestler? But you probably don't know her. But she lives here. She was Tampa and a Florida legend, Penelope Paradise.
No, I've heard the name. Oh, yeah, I know the name. I don't know her personally. Back
when I first started, yeah. So if your last name is Paradise and you got a movie called Thunder in Paradise, no,
yeah, I'm gonna have to think on that.
All right, well,
so back to the question.
All right, back to the question is, I can't remember if I liked Hulk Hogan movies or not. They probably were not good, but I probably watched them. Just because he was Hulk Hogan, and I did watch Mr. Nanny and stuff, but I can't think of any other movies offhand. Raymond, you got any?
I don't know. You always watch bad movies.
Yeah, I do.
That's
I do.
Like your thing.
I have watched it. So a few of them. I'm sure he said a few. I just can't think of them.
You're gonna have to comment one of his movies that we need to watch now.
All right. Next move on. Sorry, Bungs. He's always putting Frank Bungle stuff in there. Well, I think Raymond knows him or something.
Maybe. He's a big fan.
All right.
If you were contracted by the WWE to participate in the Royal Rumble, would you have accepted the offer from King Kaj?
Oh, King Kaj, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, sure. Why not?
It's an opportunity, right?
It's an opportunity. I'm a bit grizzled. I'd be a little afraid of like my back letting down and looking embarrassing. You know, I would have that fear back in my head. Like, because one of the reasons, besides wanting to be able to walk when I'm older, is just that I'm just off, not what I used to be. You know, no matter what through time, they say, well, you get better and you know where to be in the ring and when to do it. That's true. But at the same time, you can just not be physically able from different things and stuff to move and be in the right place at the right time. So that fear would always linger, but I think I'd find a way to suck it up and get through it. So yes. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. What was one of the worst injuries you have had to wrestle with? From Alex Thomas 99.
Well, I wrestled with the broken neck. That was only a week, and it was pretty bad. Super bad, but I was younger, and I pushed through that week. But I got to say, I don't know if it's because it's more current or more relevant at the time now, is my back. I've never had issues with my back, but this back injury has got my attention. It's changed how I walk and how I move. The neck took me out. So it was 1 week, and I was out for a year, almost a year. All right, so I didn't have to work with it but the back.
True, yeah.
The back. Now the torn pec hurt too, but I was young enough again to adjust. Now the back is just really, it's really taking a toll on me, and so I got to say that this back has been the worst. Yeah.
Well, the back also affects the knee.
I mean, I could go line up the injury. You know, I was doing a thing. I could tell you that I had probably over 800, 900 stitches in my head at different places. Probably, and that's not an exaggeration. It sounds like an exaggeration, but not when you're adding up 32 at a time and 19. Yeah. And over the years, well, maybe not that many, probably 500 or something stitches, you know, throughout my face.
That's still a lot.
Torn pec, rotator cuffs, blown out knees. Obviously, I don't have, I'm working with a knee that's horribly bad. There's no PCL or ACL if you know anything about knees, and it's bone on bone. And you see that I'm completely bow-legged in this leg, right? Yeah. So, that hurts. Oh, you tend to work through a lot of things. I guess it could just be the generation I came from, and the push forward and soldier on, and Cowboys don't cry, buckaroo, posse up. You know what I mean? But It is what it is. So, but right now I'm gonna say it's my back. My back.
Okay. Next question.
You're a millionaire. No.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen.
Okay. So, how do you feel about sharing the wrestling ring with an outsider? For example, Bad Bunny and Johnny Knoxville recently had in-ring action in the WWE. Is that frowned upon?
Yeah.
This is from Ken Solo.
Han Solo, Ken Solo. Is it frowned upon? I believe a lot of older guys, older than me, they probably frowned upon it in the territory days. It was a very protected industry. To get into wrestling, it was very protected. But throughout the years, it's become sports entertainment or pay-per-views, this and that. So it's a money attraction, a money draw. I mean, so do I frown upon it? No, not if they put their heart and they put some effort in. Like we talked about Ronda Rousey, right?
Yeah.
She's put work in. She trained. She had a ring. So Bad Bunny in the Rumble, he did good. He did well. So, I mean, personally, if I shared the ring with anybody, I think one time in TNA, I was in a battle royal, and Toby Keith was in it. You know who Toby Keith is? Drink the beers, ride save the horses, drink the beer, some shit. You know, Toby Keith, the country singer.
The name sounds familiar, but I
well,
can't say
Toby Keith, and and in a way, I thought, that's Toby Keith. That's pretty cool. When I did Suplex, he was asking me how he did it and everything like that. So, I didn't mind it so much. I minded if the company puts more attention on them than their current product guys they're trying to push and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It can be disrespectful sometimes in some ways. But if it's done, Johnny Knoxville didn't do anything that hurt anybody. He got his ass kicked. I mean, so
he was out of there.
That was believable. They kicked him. Hell, I'm surprised he walked away from that. Bad Bunny worked smart. He didn't do anything that disrespected anybody. Anything that wasn't too unbelievable. So, if it's done in the right way, it's okay. It's okay with like events like a Royal Rumble or something and different things and a WrestleMania if it's done in the right way. Now, should they be in Hall of Fame? No. No. Some of these people that are in WWE Hall of Fame is bullshit. And then some people that aren't is bullshit. That's why I don't put any faith. When people say, deep down inside, when they're asking me, oh, you should be in the Hall of Fame, gang, I'm like, I don't deserve to ever be in the Hall of Fame, but I don't even count that as a Hall of Fame. Because
it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean nothing to me. It's just like the PWI 500 doesn't mean nothing to me. Because it used to. Now, and I'm not saying this because I was Rookie of the Year in 93. But in 94, the end of 93, 94, they sold the company. Bill Apter sold the company. They ended on, the results weren't legit anymore. So you could take, I know people that personally took results in the PWI and put fake names and sent shit in. And that fake person that's never wrestled, that doesn't even exist, has made the PWI 500. And then other people are like, I didn't make it. I'm like, bro, it's a work because it's like any moron can send in the results and be in that.
That's so stupid.
So when I see people get so excited, I made it in the PWI, I'm like,
people still post that.
Oh, I know. Like, and they should. And some people are my friends and everything else, but they should be embarrassed of themselves. Like, they should understand. Again, what side of the curtain are you standing on?
Exactly, yeah.
Are you in that locker room? Are you business? Are you there to work, make money, and be the best you can? Are you just over there, part of this other generation? And I'm not knocking the younger people, but, I mean, fucking come on. Get fired. Get real. I'm telling you, I know people that proved a point and put fake results in and fake people to make a non-existent person in the top 500.
And people get so excited over that. Like any list of the top
it
10,
it did
whatever.
Used to mean something. Before after 93, it didn't mean anything. It started changing. It just became a computer world where people could send in anything, And, you know, and I don't blame PWI, but how are you going to investigate every result, this and that? People are sending it in, you're sending in results. And so,
good point.
You know, so kudos to you if you've worked the system to make it work for you. You know what I mean? So, but I've seen people like, I made 450. Well, how many in that 450 are actually legit wrestlers? I've seen that PWI. I wrestle every weekend, right? You know that.
Yeah.
3 shows a weekend, sometimes more. Every all year long, 7. I don't make the top 500. Now, no, I'm not being bitter because I'm not a top 500, but I see people that are in there that I go, they work one show. I've seen them work one show that I know are in there, and I'm like, come on, you know, like so. If I could say anybody, people just choose what side of the curtain you're on. You could be a fan at wrestling. I was a wrestling fan. Don't get me wrong, and I'm still a fan for wrestling. And I'm a bit of a mark because I still do it, obviously. You know, like, but you got to pick what side of the curtain you're on. You're either in the locker room or you're in the audience, you know. And I'm not trying to be mean about that and be disrespectful or anything, but that's just how I feel, you know.
Now, is there like a specific like celebrity like Bad Bunny or Johnny Knoxville that you would want, like if you could pick your opponent that wasn't necessarily a wrestler?
Wow, let's see. There's
Like
Master P,
actor,
Master
or
P. I'm gonna
singer.
know them so what? Master P will beat my ass.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What you think Master P? Why? Because he's from New Orleans or dirty? So what? Man, I'm
Am I
from
not-
Third World, Deerfield. Come on.
Am I not informed of this? So who are we talking
Hey,
about?
I don't even know if Master P makes music anymore, but I do like Master P.
The singer?
No Limit, true. No Limit Soldier. I showed you. That's all I told you. Woody hoo, Master P. No.
Nah, but okay, that's your answer to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what celebrity would I want. Like, who would I want to wrestle? Like, Terminator's too old. Old Arnold. He's been canceled too, I think. I don't know what Arnold said. He got canceled somehow, but I think he'll be back. Can't keep Terminator down. Like in prime or like now, like prime, like now or or could it be anybody?
It could be anybody, male, female, anybody.
Oh, wrestle Wesley, but Apollo Creed maybe.
Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed, man. Come on, he took Rocky like, and then no.
Michael B. Jordan.
Is that? I don't know his name.
Yeah, that's his actor's name.
I don't know. Not Rocky because like I don't like working.
Karate Kid.
No, I'd kick Ralph Macchio's ass. No. If you want to celebrity boxing, give me Ralph Macchio.
That's someone you know, like you can
Mike Tyson.
mess up a
Mike
little
Tyson.
bit. Mike Tyson. Okay.
Mike Tyson. Even though he did it with Bigelow and Luna and all them, they did that with Tyson.
I would want to see that.
He said, "What is it? What is it?" Mike Tyson says, "Everybody has a game plan till they get punched in the mouth or something."
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. You have to think about it. Let's come back next week on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last question. Oh, this is a big one. Yeah.
Oh God, this is the last question because
So Chris Jericho recently stated that the WWE has a hard time building stars as of recently. Do you agree with this, or is it a formula for building a superstar? Ken Wheels 12.
Well, WWE is so branded that no matter what level you're on, if you're on that main roster or Raw, this and that, you do a pay-per-view, you're going to be looked at as a star. Now, to build, well, Chris Jericho's probably talking about the stars, like star power that he knows. It does seem like lately we'll give them that. It's been like all over the place. Somebody will be here and then they're gone, or they're doing roster cuts or preparing to sell or whatever the deal is. So, but I don't know that AEW is building any stars because they're using old WWE guys, the stars that WWE built. Like so, except for MJF. Who else? Sammy Guevara. But like Sammy's just getting in the mix to Jericho, right? So Jericho's out shining.
Young Bucks too.
Well, the Young Bucks were already branded. They already did their thing, you know. So I don't know. Like that's a tough one because I don't think either company. I think everybody's attention span is different, but maybe AEW like He's talking about newer guys, right? That question for newer, like people that building stars. Yeah, so it'd be newer guys.
So I guess like if you.
So I think they're all over the place. I think maybe AEW has branded like MJF, right? He was a guy that was on the Indies, and they taken him and made him a star. Where everybody talks about he's the guy, promos and wrestling, this and that. So they built a legitimate star there. I'm trying to think who WWE is. Just sprung up and made a star. But, I mean, they've already had him, like, can't count, like, Drew McIntyre because he was already built. Like, Sheamus is built. All these guys are already kind of existing. Riddle, but he crossed over from US. Like, he was a fighter.
I wouldn't consider him like a...
Hey, easy.
You didn't let me finish.
Okay.
I wouldn't consider him like a superstar yet. Not
Riddle?
Yeah, give him a little more time. Bianca.
Belair's, yeah.
It always goes back to Bianca.
Snoop Dogg's Sasha. Bailey. Like women, they build it. Charlotte was her dad, but
I was gonna say.
But she did her work. She put the work in. It wasn't just her dad. She's a hard worker, though. I mean, you can say anything you want about Ric Flair, but Charlotte really works hard. I don't know what was going on for that period when she was dating a dude, and
she's still dating him, I think.
Is she?
Yeah.
No, it's fun.
Really?
I don't know, but she's put the work in. She works hard. Absolutely, all her matches are 100% plus, you know. So I don't know. I'm gonna pass on that question because I don't really know. Because I'm gonna have to go reevaluate and look at things again. But everybody's having a hard time because the world's attention span is so crazy. But Anna, before we go, I forgot to give this to you. I got a gift for you. One came in. There you go.
Oh, the Chili Peppers bracelet.
There you go. I noticed you weren't wearing any bracelets today, so. So if you're listening on Spotify, she's a bracelet freak, so I got her. Yes. I ordered this like way before Christmas, and it just finally came here this week. The Red Hot Chili Peppers bracelet.
Oh, which so cool.
We're gonna go see a concert in August, right? Hard Rock Chili Peppers. Yeah. Gonna see Sammy Hagar on this 5th, I think.
Really? You told me about that.
And I think George Thorogood might be opening for him. So remember, I was gonna go to George Thorogood next week, but now. I think he's going to open for Hagar, so I'll just see him on Hagar.
2 for 1.
2 for 1. You know, I like my twofers. I 2 for 1s.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. So, everybody, thank you for joining us. Ana Blanca Diaz, ABD. Thank you for coming in today and co-hosting. And everybody, that was episode 36 of Fangin' and Bangin' with Gangrel. Want some?
Get some.
Bad enough?
Take some.
All right, we'll catch you on the flip side.